Good morning and welcome to the MSc Malaysia Project Management Experience Sharing Session for 2014. Today you're in for a real treat, for we are looking into the topics of PMP as well as Scrum. So I hope you all had a good feel of the breakfast, and today we will be filling not only your stomachs but as well as your minds. So to get this session started, ladies and gentlemen, without much further ado, we will begin our sessions with the opening speeches by our organizers and collaborators. So to kickstart this portion, please welcome Mr. Muhammad Imran, the Head of Talent from Malaysia Multimedia Development Corporation, MDEC. Let's give him a round of applause.
So, thank you very much for MSc PMP Circle for coming out with this event. So, first and foremost, welcome to Cyberjaya. So, how many of you are working in Cyberjaya? Oh, practically everyone. So, you're very familiar with Cyberjaya. I thought most of you are from outside. So, how many of you have PMP or Scrum or Agile? Quite a number. So still very interesting to know that you are still here, because this is more like more on an introduction, I believe, isn't it, on the PMP, Scrum, and Agile. So on behalf of MDEC, I think I would like to welcome all of you for this event in where we are hosting together with our partners. So as you would have recalled, that MDEC has been championing quite a number of professional certification, collaboration with technology partners. And one of the reasons we do that is basically to increase the level of professionalism. Okay, I know all of you are professionals in whatever field you are, but in terms of the internationally recognized professional certification and so forth. So few years back, we decided to initiate another professional certification program through MDEC known as MyProCert. So under MyProCert, we are offering quite a fair bit of certification track. It ranges from PMP right up to ITIL, Agile, and so forth. So we have been running that for the past 2.5 years, 3 years already. And one of the significant thing that we notice is the level of interest and participation in PMP, especially PMP. So we know PMP is one of the sought after skill set, especially when you want to move up in your career ladder, especially from doing something, so you want to move up to your supervisory or managerial level. A lot of you, I reckon, take up PMP is to support in whatever role that you're doing and move up your career ladder. So I'm just curious to know also whether after you get your PMP, your salary increase or not. No. So that is, I'm not your employer, so I cannot talk on behalf of your employer, but generally in the industry norm, once you get the certification, it helps. Of course, it is not an overnight thing. You still need to prove your worth after attending all these certification and getting this certification. So the industry norm is, we have seen the salary progression up at least another 5 to 15% once someone get this certification. So it is not only about getting certification and about salary, it is also about performing. Okay, so that is where we find a lot of lack in terms of the skill sets as we in the industry today, where quite a many occasion we see people have all kind of certification, but they don't know how to use it on the job. So it's not worth having the certification if you are not applying the knowledge that you have on the job. So on the part of MDEC, we would be continually supporting these professional skills development, whether it's a PMP, Scrum, or Agile. I myself, to be honest, I'm not a PMP or Scrum or Agile. So the Scrum I know is only from rugby. And I believe the term Scrum originated from the game rugby, isn't it? And I also did some research lah. So I think it started around the age of the year 1980 something from Japan. Okay, so Japanese are very good in coming out with a lot of all those process improvement, as you all recall. So they had Six Sigma, also then they had all the lean management, they JIT and all that. So Scrum definitely is one of the means that they see is worthwhile following through, because when you talk about PMP, it's about the holistic project management. But we also know that when we talk about project management, it's not something that you plan and it doesn't change along the way. So I believe Scrum, whether it's Scrum or Agile, adds value in terms of your PMP know-how or knowledge, because circumstances change along the way when you do things. Because we always see people grumble. So you have a good project plan, project management plan, and so forth. But along the way, when the circumstances changes, if you're just following through whatever your PMP, whatever you have planned, so you will not achieve, or you will not see the outcome that you expect. So Scrum basically allows to have the flexibility, especially working in a group, in a small group, to start something and initiating this until you finish it off and moving on to the next level. Because that is, I think, the significant difference that you see from a typical PMP as well as the Scrum or Agile. So of course, Agile, I don't have to say much, is about using the, what do you call, flexibility in whatever you do, okay? And lean management is optimizing the resources that you have. So I believe the event today will be a very fruitful thing for all of you, since some of you already are PMP and Scrum. So I believe you have a lot of questions to ask for the panel members, the renowned panel members that we have lined up to give you information later. So just some statistics I want to share in terms of when we started this PMP. So we had a very good take-up, you know. In fact, last year alone, we had close to about 559 people participating in our PMP program. So as MDAC actually started this PMP program I think more than probably about 10 years, I believe. We started the PMP certification training, I think about 7 to 8 years ago. Okay. So now we are more and more aggressive with the MyProCert program. We want to make it more affordable for individuals or also company, where it's more on a cost-sharing basis. So we are not sponsoring the entire cost fee of it, but it is a cost, what you call it's a matching means, where we support at least, it ranges, some of the courses, it can go as high as 70% of the cost fee that you incur. So for PMP, Agile, Scrum, we also have the similar manner where it's a cost-sharing model. So I hope you will take note of the MyProCert program that we are running. So it's not only confined to PMP and Scrum or Agile. Okay, as I mentioned, last year alone we had 559 people taking up PMP, and 86 people actually applied for the Scrum under the MyProCert program. So based on the good response that we have seen, so we want more participation. So for those who have PMP, I think it's high time for you to look at Scrum as add-on to whatever you have. Because personally for me, I believe all these tools are very, very important for your day-to-day work and also for your career progression. So whether you get promotion or not, it still boils back to how you perform on the job. Okay, I believe if you perform on the job, no one can deny you your career progression. So with that note, I don't want to take up much of the time. So we have more interesting speakers in terms of the actual experts on the skills. So I'm not the expert, so I don't want to pretend to be one. So thank you very much for coming, and hope you enjoy the session. And I hope to see a very good take-up rate for the programs moving forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Muhammad Imran. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll move on to our next speaker for this morning. As still part of the opening speech, please welcome the COO of ATSC, Mr. Hao Eng Kiang, to the stage.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I see a lot of familiar faces, okay, over here. And I'm also very surprised that this morning over here, we have a lot of PMPs and a lot of Scrums. In fact, when I look at the list that was, sent registered, there were a lot of people who were PMPs inside here. There were a quarter of them are PMPs, and about, 1/3 of them are Scrums. That means they've got CSM or CSPO, attended before. So basically, not too bad. The audience over here, more than half of the numbers here are here to find out more about PMP and more about Scrum. Okay, so those of you that what Mr. Muhammad Imran has just mentioned this morning, okay, of course I'll thank MDAC, okay, for organizing this event with us jointly, because we have actually worked on this event 6 months ago, okay, trying to arrange for everything all. So we felt that this is the best time, because we are also very lucky that this auditorium here is very new, as you can see. I think this event over here is the first time we are using it this year, 2014, okay? Sitting in a very nice place over here, all of us, all right? So basically, today's event is actually organized by collaboration between MSc PMP Circle and MDAC. And for some of you who are new, now who is this MSc PMP Circle? Actually, it's a platform, okay, for PMPs, okay, all exclusive for PMP credential holders, okay. So basically, over here, we have actually, to talk more about MSc PMP Circle later on, we have Ms. O'Neill, my colleague over here. She will just come out and just briefly mention about what's MSc PMP Circle. But I also would like to inform all of you that besides the MSc PMP Circle, which is for the PMP holders, we have the Malaysia Scrum User Group, okay. For those people who have actually, got the CSM or CSPO, automatically they join, they join the MSc, the Scrum User Group. So for us over in ATSC, we actually organize both MSc PMP Circle and also the Malaysia Scrum User Group. Okay, and for the Malaysia Scrum User Group, because we have done this for 4 years already in Malaysia, we have about 600 over, Agile or Scrum users in Malaysia here. Okay, that's not bad a number. All right. And also, I wish to mention over here that, for today, please stay back all the way, because we have some lucky draw prizes for all of you here, okay? It did not mention inside the agenda, but I'm going to give some lucky draw prizes, which actually allows you very good discount, okay? So if you're already a PMP holder, okay, you can take the Scrum. If you're a Scrummer, you have not want to take a PMP, go ahead. You can use that to redeem. So basically, stay back, and some of you will be some lucky ones over here who are able to get some, lucky draw prizes over here, okay? So I don't want, as you know, over here today, the registration is 300 over people, okay? But I'm very surprised that still so many people are not here yet, okay? Maybe we have about 1/3 of them are still not here, I think. The hall is only about 3/4 filled, okay? But I'm sure a lot of them will be coming late, because later part, the part on the panelists forum, which starts at 11 o'clock, that will be the most interesting, okay? Because the first two will be talking about the presentation on the Scrum and talk about the PMP. But the panelist session, that's where a lot of question answer will be, we have a lot of questions to answer. So basically, a lot of people have already forwarded a lot of questions to the forum here. And so please leave all your question and answer until, the session where you have the panelists, So don't ask any questions first yet, until the panelist one, the forum, the second part of it. Okay, everyone? So without much ado, I will actually invite my colleague over here, Ms. O'Neill. She will just come up here to mention about MSc PMP Circle, so that those of you who are already PMPs and you are not inside our PMP Circle platform, okay, at least you know that it's over here that you can just join, and you can actually obtain your PDUs. That means, because as you all know, there's all when you are PMP, you need to have continuous certification requirement, CCR, okay, CCR that accumulates PDUs. So over here, to talk about it more, I will invite Ms. O'Neill here. Please give her a round of applause, please, everyone.
Yeah, to all of you who are PMP and PMP to be, this seminar actually come handy to you all. As EK have shared, MSc PMP Circle is actually the exclusive platform for the PMP, in which our PMP members, they can actually develop their professional skills and also keep in touch with the updated trend and knowledge happening in the industry. And just to name some of the workshops we have held is the reason new knowledge have been added to PMBOK, which is stakeholder management, the advanced project cost management, risk management, and etc. Those are the workshops that our members, they get involved and they obtain some PDUs. Yes, and our focus. What is the focus of MSc PMP Circle? Which is to ensure our members are successful as a professionals, as well as an individual. So as a professional, you gain some knowledge. And as an individual, we launch some activities such as special interest talks, which enable you to learn some other new knowledges. And all this learning journey is actually extended to their families members too. So by obtaining a PMP, you have proven your capability. And by becoming part of the MSc PMP Circle, you are actually committed to develop your PMP as a career. Thank you.
Thank you, O'Neill. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we are about to begin our session for the first half of this morning, kindly allow me to make some announcements. My name is Johnson, and I shall be your MC for this morning. And to those of you who have enjoyed your breakfast over at the top this morning, just for announcements, during the lunch break, during the lunch time, the top half of the hall are encouraged to exit from the back and have your lunch over there at where you had your breakfast. You guys at the bottom half of the hall, kindly exit through this door at the bottom, and you can have your lunch at the open area and cafe on the side. All right? And in the need for any toilet breaks, the toilets are located on the right-hand side over here along the stairway as you go up the stairway. And as to what Mr. Hao In Kyong have mentioned earlier, during the two speaking sessions in the morning by Mr. Vernon Steinbaker and Mr. S.K. Koh, kindly reserve your questions during the panel session from 11 to 12:30, so forth. So at least that point in time, you can focus all of your questions in relation to project management and Scrum to all the respective panelists that will be joining us. And one last announcement, ladies and gentlemen, can you bring out one of your most expensive tools that you have on your body? I am referring to this handy dandy device. Kindly assist us to put them in silent mode just to respect the speaker who is speaking on the stage. And if you need to take a call, by all means do so. But if you need to, it's going to be a long call, kindly do that outside of the hall. All right?